Yes, it's true. You can make a full-time income on part-time hours using Pinterest marketing and SEO strategies. You don't need to show your face. You can take advantage of trends or create evergreen content. Really, the ideas are so limitless, and I'm so excited to dive deep on them today. My name's Brittany, and this is my channel, Making Money with Mama, where I share with you all my Pinterest marketing and social media marketing and digital marketing tips and strategies, all for free. All I ask is that you like and subscribe to this channel so that I can continue to support my family while providing you free education. We have a very special guest. I'm so excited to bring her on and talk to her and have her answer all kinds of questions for you today. Her name is Serena. She's a Pinterest strategist. I met her along my Pinterest marketing journey. She has very similar ideologies as me, and I can't wait for us to collaborate and talk to you guys about how much we love Pinterest and how you can get started making a full-time income on Pinterest too. So let's start talking to her. So this is Serena. She is the founder of the Profitable Pin Formula, and we are going to ask her some questions all about Pinterest, and I'm really excited to talk to her today. So without further ado, let's get started. Serena, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you started from, and kind of how you got started with Pinterest?
Okay, yeah, so it's a really, really long story, and I feel like I never share the whole thing because I'm like, who wants to always listen to this? But my entire journey started with my first job out of college in 2017, and I was working as like a textile designer in a fashion-based industry. I was there for about 7 months until my boss and I started butting heads. And we were always arguing and getting nasty with each other. And it's so funny because I worked in a fashion area, like a fashion space. And she was like, I always say this, but she was like the Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, just like really nasty and kind of like degrading a little bit. So things started to get really bad between us. And that's kind of when I was like, okay, I don't want to work for somebody ever again. I want to like do my own thing, and I want to try to leave this job ASAP and never go back to a 9-to-5. So, I just graduated college at this point, and on my Explore page, I kept seeing lots of like cute girls sharing cute outfit ideas and lots of different things. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I love fashion. I want to be able to do that too. Like, I want to take pictures of my outfits. And like at the time I had no idea they were even making money. So I was like, all right, let me try this. So I started posting little like outfits day by day. Something I noticed too between them is that a lot of these really successful people who were showcasing their outfits, they all had blogs. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I want to be successful too, I need a blog as well. So I started a blog. It was super basic. It was on Wix. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I was like, I'm just going to share whatever I can, maybe like an outfit of the day, write about it and see what I can link. And anyways, years went on. I kind of just like kept putting out a blog post every so often. And the only way that I was promoting this blog was through Instagram. So through my social media, I was just kind of like posting it on my story, like, oh, here's today's outfit. Check it out. It's on the blog. And like nobody ever viewed it. It got like no views ever. So I eventually kind of just stopped using the blog, and I kind of just continued to use Instagram to just kind of share my outfits. And the way I was making money with that blog or like with Instagram was through like affiliate links through what's called the Like to Know It platform, which actually up until like 2 years ago, it was called Reward Style. So now it's just called LTK. And that's how I kind of was trying to make some money. But over these years, I kind of grew my Instagram to around 18,000 followers in like the fashion and home decor space. So I started getting made like brand deals, and I was doing like a bunch of sponsorships, but I never really felt like my income was where it was supposed to be for how long I was actually doing this. By, let's say, like 2021, I was just kind of like, why am I not successful like all these other creators, like, who started at the same time as me, or even somebody who's new, like they were doing so well. And I just felt like, why is that not me? So basically, I was just kind of done, and I wanted to kind of take things full time. So I ended up leaving at the time I was working what was it? I was working full time as a visual merchandiser at Target. So I've always been in the retail space, but I quit that job and I was like, I want to try to make money like full time online. I don't want to work for somebody. Like, I'm done. And pretty much, I kind of started relying on Pinterest because I didn't really want to continue to use social media because I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with it. I felt like nobody cared about what I was sharing. And I had now from this blog in the past, I did use Pinterest a little bit to end up promoting it over time. And some of my posts really took off. So I knew it worked. And I was like, if I could just figure this out and figure out how to continue to drive this traffic to other pieces of content that I create, like an LTK post or a blog post, then I would be good. And I would not have to rely posting and constantly creating reels or TikToks where I'm sharing outfits and stuff, because I just hated doing it. I hated it. So that's kind of how I got started, and kind of where I'm at now, and still using Pinterest to this day. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot different than when I first kind of started the platform. I feel like it was easier back then, but now it's kind of it's a lot more, what I want to say, SEO heavy for sure.
So you mentioned when you first started, you didn't know how people were making money with Pinterest or sharing their outfits or things like that. And I think a lot of people still don't understand how people make money using Pinterest. So can you share, how do you make money using Pinterest? What is it that you use to make money? Is it this to know it platform that you mentioned earlier? Is there other strategies? Do you direct people to landing pages? How is it that you make money with Pinterest?
Yeah, so there is a ton of different ways that you can make money with Pinterest. And I think the biggest misconception is that people think you can make money directly on Pinterest, on the platform itself, which that was the case.
They used to for that brief period of a window.
Yes. And I miss the creator fund so much because it was the best paying creator fund out there, and it was worth it. But now that's not the case. So you actually do not make money on Pinterest. You make money using Pinterest. So it's really important to have some sort of a home base where you're sharing your content or you're sharing what's going to make you money. So for me, that's a couple different things. Like a blog is a home base for me. And now I have my LTK, which is a home base for me. So LTK is basically the biggest influencer marketing platform out there, where you can get affiliate links for thousands of brands. You can also upload shoppable content like photos and videos, and then you can link what is inside of those.
And for those people that don't know what affiliate marketing is, sorry to interrupt you real quick. Affiliate marketing is where you get paid a commission to promote a product. So to know it connects you with the product. So you can post products on kind of a little social media post and link the products. And anytime someone makes a purchase through that picture, you get paid a percentage of that sale. I know a lot of people probably already know what affiliate marketing is, but just for some people who have just now coming across what it means and how you actually make money with affiliate marketing, that's what it means. So go ahead, continue.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's thousands of brands you can pick from. So a lot of my favorite ones are, Target or Free People. And I can kind of create that affiliate link for the product that I'm looking to share. And I post it, let's say on my blog, I'm talking about a specific, pieces from the stores, or if I'm wearing a shirt that I want to link or tag, I can grab that affiliate link. And then if people want to shop it and they buy something from the link, then yes, I do make a commission. So that is one way that I personally make money.
You make a Pinterest pin with an outfit, and then you direct people to either a blog post that has the to know it links or the to know it post directly, correct? And then from there, people can say, I'm looking for a Halloween themed sweatshirt. They type in Halloween themed sweatshirt in Pinterest. Your picture of a Halloween sweatshirt shows up. They can click that pin, get directed to your post where you have an affiliate link for that shirt. And when they purchase that sweater or shirt, you get paid a commission. Yes, right?
Yep. Yes. And I was going to get into that and explain that too. There's a couple different things too. So I'm currently using Pinterest for affiliate marketing, but other people who may be watching this or want to kind of lean into also different routes, you can use Pinterest to sell digital products, and I'll share more about that. You can use it to fill or sell physical products. So if you physically ship something, you can use Pinterest for, now I'm not going to get too into this, but blog ad revenue. Which if you're not familiar with that, that is pretty much, if you've ever been to a recipe page, whether that's Google or on Pinterest, and you're trying to scroll to the bottom of the recipe, but all these little pop-ups keep showing up. That is blog ad revenue. And that's how people get paid with blogs. Every time someone sees those little videos, that creator earns just a couple cents or a couple dollars. So I'm not going to get too into that, but that's one way. And sponsorships with brands is another way that you could make money on Pinterest. If you are a super big creator, brands will pay you to maybe create a blog post or post an image on Pinterest, and they'll pay you to do that if you have really good traffic. But if you're looking to sell like digital products as well, you can monetize those digital products by creating a Pinterest pin. So you could create something in Canva, kind of like a little ad advertising your product or your freebie. And then you can kind of link that pin to your freebie or your digital product, your website. And you can get people to either buy the digital product, or you could get people into your freebie where you'll end up growing your email list, which is what I recommend doing because, with things like courses and educational products, there's that know, like, and trust factor where people aren't going to necessarily always buy right away. But digital products like downloads, like trying to think the best examples, like bachelorette party games, or something like that. People are just like, okay, I'm going to buy that. But something that's a little more educational, people are a little more weary about it, and they want to get to know you because Pinterest is always a cold audience.
So I know kind of people are always drawn to like Instagram and TikTok. What drew you? Why pick Pinterest over other social media platforms? What drew you to Pinterest? I know kind of why I love Pinterest over other social media marketing platforms, and I'm sure it's pretty much the same reasons as you. So let's hear it.
Yeah. So like I said kind of earlier, that I knew it was a traffic generating platform because I had a couple posts here and there that were blowing up, driving a lot of traffic. So I just was like, okay, it's my goal to figure this out. This is crazy. This one pin is making me sales. I need to do this again. But I think I love Pinterest the most because number one, it's just really quiet on there, that you don't have to like constantly engage all day like Instagram or TikTok in order to get your content sent out. You can kind of just like repin what you want. You don't have to repin at all, but you can post in your own time. You don't have to like, I think just Instagram feels more like a hustle and bustle place. And Pinterest isn't. And, if you have your account built up that it has really good traffic already generating, then you don't even have to post every day either. Like I'm at a point where I don't have to post every day anymore, and traffic would still continue to flow, which is really nice. But I also just find that I don't compare my content to other people's on that platform. It's not
just like thrown in your face. You don't see other people's like likes and reshares and things, you're just kind of focusing on your own little boards and your own little Pinterest business. So it's great for that point.
And with stories too, like no matter what niche you're in, like, I'm on two different things right now. So like on my fashion and home account, if I'm going through stories, it's always people trying to, doing hauls or sharing, like putting something in my face, buy this, or here's like my collage. But same thing with the digital marketing space. I'm scrolling through stories and it's people selling their course all the time, or people, making, they're doing that pain point marketing where they're making me feel bad about myself or something, or they're sharing their income. And I'm like, it is so mentally draining, and Pinterest doesn't have any of that. So that is like really the best part about it. It's just a really inspiring and empowering place.
And one thing that I really like about Pinterest too is, Instagram and or TikTok, you can kind of get a little bit more of like an instant gratification. But what I love
Mhm.
about Pinterest is because it's search engine based, you can find keywords that people are going to be searching for and continue to rank in those keywords for months and even years to come. So if you
Right.
create seasonal posts, not only will your content hold up through that season, but when the next season comes up, if you're creating content for Halloween 2024 this year, Halloween 2025, if you're ranked in the proper Halloween category and keywords, you're going to be seen all over again. So it's not like Instagram and TikTok where you like go whoop and then you come right down. I love that you can just
Yep.
continue to be stable or even grow years after your content just lives on so much longer. So
Yeah.
I used to
It's
tell people all the time, you don't get that instant gratification because it takes a little bit of time for Pinterest to rank your keywords and stuff, but the long-term sustainability of it, it's just so much more sustainable than having to constantly grind out content all the time on the other platforms.
right. And I think like, well, one tip too, is like, if you want your content to keep resurfacing let's say every Halloween, a good like a pointer tip would be not to include the year
Mhm.
either, because people will continue to search like years.
Right.
Like this year, people are probably looking for Halloween decor 2024. But if you put that in like your title or your pin description or your blog post title, it probably won't resurface again next year because people aren't searching for the
Yeah.
2024 part. So Pinterest might think that it's irrelevant. So I try not to include years in my posts anymore, unless
Mhm.
I specifically want it to be really trendy, like really trendy stuff. And I was going to say too, like, I kind of lost my train of thought. I lost my
You're
train
good.
of thought now, but that's okay. Yeah, maybe it'll come back to me.
Right, right. Maybe another question.
Yeah.
So for someone who just wanted to get started now, how would you recommend they get started on Pinterest?
So I'm going to go really, really basic here since there's so many people that I find who are really either intimidated by Pinterest or they have no idea where to start. So from the beginning is to really just create that account and start a business account and make sure that this account is completely separate from any personal account that you have. There are so many people who use Pinterest personally, but get really overwhelmed when it comes to using it for business. So if you are trying to use it to sell something, whether that's through affiliate marketing, digital products, physical products, create a separate account and keep that completely away from anything that you're pinning personally, unless it is specifically related to what like things that you kind of already share and save yourself. So for me, I actually never created a separate account because most of the stuff I was saving to my personal boards was fashion and home inspiration
Mhm.
anyway. And that's what I share for a business perspective. So I do have that all on one account, but any of the boards that are really irrelevant that I still do use personally are what's called a secret board. So the general public can't see it. Pinterest won't be
Mhm.
confused by it. But I think it's really important to figure out what you want to promote as well. We don't want to promote too many things on one account. If something, let's say, like another example too, where one account I'm sharing fashion, home decor. If I also want to create a Pinterest account that promotes my digital products or courses, guides, whatever, then I want to create an entirely separate account because that niche is just totally opposite. So that's really, really important to know too. And to make sure that you also have a home base for whatever you're trying to sell. Now, that home base would be called like a landing page, which you could make that a stand store. You could make that a YouTube video, a blog post, if you're trying to promote your podcast, Etsy, anything where the home base is that people are going to either buy from you, download, or listen to whatever you're trying to share is going to be your landing page and where you should keep the majority of your content. And you can link to multiple different places. So, I
Mhm.
don't always link to the same place. One day I could link to a blog post. The next day I could link to a YouTube video. Like you can kind of link to wherever you want. It does not have to be like one specific place. But then I would say too, just like really learning keyword research and just figuring out what are people searching for before you actually start to create your content, because the worst thing to do is create your content first and then try to post it on Pinterest, but then learn that nobody's really looking for it. So do keyword research first, see what people are looking for, then go ahead and create that YouTube video, that blog post, that, wherever you're promoting, like then create that second. So those are my first couple basic steps that I would say, and everything else after that gets a little bit more intricate, but I think that's a really great starting point.
And two, with the keyword research, something that I discovered is sometimes like people will just be like, oh, I already know what people would be searching for, and they use those keywords, and it's like what the masses are searching for are usually not what you personally are searching for. And sometimes like I'm doing keyword research and I'm like, this is what people are typing in.
Yeah.
But you know, you find that sometimes it's not exactly what you think it will be. So that's why it's so important to make sure you're doing the keyword research at the beginning and not just trying to go off of your own gut or whatever you might think people are searching out there.
Right. And like the Pinterest trends tool is very interesting. Now, that's like where I suggest people do keyword research if they have no idea like where to start, like, because it kind of gives you ideas of content to create. But you'd be surprised, like I go on that trends tool, which it's right under your analytics tab on Pinterest business homepage. It'll say trends. You can go down to that, but it'll like people be typing in something like baddie outfits.
I keep seeing the baddie stuff too.
Yeah. And it's like, what? But that's what people are looking for. And it's like, okay, I mean, that's not personally what I would share, but for somebody, you know, then you're just like, okay, you know, now I need to create content for baddie outfits. Like, so it's very interesting and seeing like what's coming up. I'm like, who is searching for this and why?
So people that are a little bit farther along, maybe they've started and they've gathered some information, but they're not exactly getting the results they want. What kind of mistakes do you think they might be making that are causing them to not get the sales or convert people as well as they'd like to?
Right. So I actually dealt with this for a really long time during my journey of Pinterest. Now my whole journey, I'd say, was like 4 years, but you know, I was at a point too where I was getting like, I want to say like 400,000 monthly viewers. So that's 400,000 people like seeing pins throughout throughout the entire platform a month, but I wasn't making sales. And I was like, why? Like, you know, this is getting clicks or this isn't getting clicks, but why is this one working and why isn't this one working? And I think like a huge common thing that people get wrong is that they treat it like a social media platform. And that's what I was doing sometimes as well. So like I don't even know how to explain it, but you have to kind of you have to kind of solve a problem. You could have, now if I would post like, let's say a fashion haul, you know, you've seen influencers before, they've posted, here's like a bunch of fall outfit ideas and they're taking a video of that. Now that will probably perform well on Pinterest, but it might not actually make you sales because you're still treating it like social media. People are just going to save that content and it could do really well, like in terms of views and saves, but people might not even click out on it because maybe they didn't know they could buy it or they were simply just saving it for inspiration. So you really have to solve a problem with those fall outfit ideas. And I think like one way to do that is you could say like, you know, here are the best like jeans for fall for women who have like who women are self-conscious about their belly or something like that. Like that is solving a problem. Now that was just like off the top of my head.
That was good. No, that was good. Because that is definitely a lot of women struggle with, especially after having kids and they, you know, get the mommy pooch or whatever, and women want the high-rise jeans. And that's
so in the Pinterest trends, I've seen people are searching for like, I think one of the terms I've seen in the past was like cool mom jeans or something like cool mom denim. And it's like, you know, that's something that people are like, I have a problem. Maybe I'm out of date in my style and I'm going on Pinterest and I'm looking to see what people are wearing and I'm going to buy that pair of jeans I see on this girl. So that is how you can kind of turn your content and get it into sales and convert it. I think another thing too is like the whole SEO thing. I see a lot of people confuse SEO with just being keywords. And it is a lot more than that. And I'm not going to go like too into detail about it, but a couple other examples of SEO would just even be like your website speed, the metadata of your YouTube video or your blog post, and even like the length of your post to your blog post. If your blog post is super short, that is SEO. Like that's search engine optimization. The longer a blog post, the better the search engine optimization on it. So those are just like, I think people are always like, oh, Pinterest is just keywords, but you know, Pinterest can see the page you're linking to, and you really need to nail SEO entirely in order to be like really, really successful. And I think the other last thing I want to talk about is like consumer psychology, which is that solving a problem. Like you need to figure out what gets people to click. What is going to make somebody click my pin and buy from me today? Or how can I help somebody and that they would genuinely want what I have to offer, and not just sharing that inspiration. And this is like something I kind of go over in like my programs too, but even what I call power words, which is like words that aren't necessarily needed in a sentence, but they just enhance it a little bit more. And it's like, you know, what sounds better? Like 5, you know, fall outfits that you need this year, or like 5 of the cutest fall outfits that are going to make you trendy and feel really pretty or something. Like just enhancing those, I don't know, enhancing those sentences a little bit more. Like which pin would you click? You know, there's a big difference.
Yeah, I always talk about using sexy titles on your pins. So instead of must-have dresses, it's like, you know, the top 10 must-have dresses for your dream vacation. Like,
yes, exactly.
It just
makes it sound so much juicier.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. When it comes to pin design, what tips do you have for people when it comes to pin design? Because one thing that I noticed a lot when I was starting to help people with Pinterest is that their pin designs just weren't quite there yet. And they needed more coaching on what makes a good Pinterest pin. So what would be like some good design tips you have for people that are trying to design appealing pins?
This one's like really hard because I feel like there's so much, but I want to say like the biggest thing that I've noticed from students that come to me when they're first starting out is when I look at their Pinterest profile, a lot of their pins just look completely, now this isn't based on like a single pin alone, but this is based on their account. A lot of their pins look very uncohesive together. Like one pin this day and one pin the next day are completely opposite looking in terms of branding, colors, fonts. And I'm like, okay, like that's a lot. I think like it's really important to make all of your pins look somewhat cohesive. That way somebody on Pinterest would be able to recognize, oh my gosh, this is so-and-so's pin. And this happens to me all the time. There's a girl on TikTok I follow. I don't know if you know her, but her name is Melina, and she's a big blogger. Like anytime on Pinterest, I can see her pins and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Melina's pin.
Yeah.
They're so cohesive. And I try to make that with mine too, but I think like really sticking to, I'd say like 2 to 3 fonts max. And keep those same fonts throughout your brand. So like you don't want to change those fonts every single day, but always super big text, make it really big, especially because most Pinterest viewers are viewing on a mobile device. So the smaller the pin is, the harder it is to read. Another tip is to make people wonder what's behind that pin. If you are putting too much information on the pin, now like let's say you're showcasing your product. It depends. But if you're making like a collage of things like, you know, baby registry must-haves or something, and you're already showing all the items, somebody's not going to click out on it because they can just say like, oh, like that's right, I need to go get this. And then they're just going to go to like Amazon and order that item. So really making people click the pin, wondering what's behind it. At least I find for me, those types of pins don't perform very well. But also making sure the image is really relevant. And I feel like nobody ever explains what this means, but I have a really good example of this because I had a student who was making a bachelorette party pin for like bachelorette party games. And on her Pinterest pin image, she had a picture of a bunch of girls at a winery or something. They were like clinking glasses. Now, yes, that does kind of go with the pin, but something that a lot of people don't know is Pinterest can actually read and see the images. So when I look at that image, and maybe when AI like Pinterest looks at that image, they're going to see a bunch of girls at a winery. They might not relate it to like bachelorette party. So I would find like even a better image related to more bachelorette games, really what their content is about. So like what you might think is relevant to your blog post, you have to remember like how AI is going to view it. They're not going to see a bachelorette of girls at a winery, bachelorette party games. They're not going to see like bachelorette party games with just a girls at a winery clinking glasses. They're going to think winery.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and I feel like no one ever explains that, but it's really important to like pick an on point image.
Right.
And my other tip is 2 or more key phrases on your pin image. 1 key phrase is good, but I noticed the ones that perform best for me always have 2 or more.
So can you explain what a key phrase would be?
Yes. So a key phrase is going to be kind of what we find from doing keyword research, whether that's on that Pinterest trends tool we were talking about earlier, or using the Pinterest search bar and typing things in when you see like the text drop down. Those are all key phrases. So an example of a key phrase could be, I'll just use this one again, but fall outfit ideas. That's a key phrase. But sometimes I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but fall outfit ideas. And then like another key phrase could be like, staple wardrobe. So if I combined a pin saying like, the staple wardrobe items you need for all of your fall outfit ideas. That's when I noticed those pins perform even better because I'm giving Pinterest more context. I'm telling them, okay, this pin is also about staple wardrobe items, but it's also about fall outfit ideas as well. So it really gets categorized really, really nicely and pushed out to multiple audiences.
That's a good point. Do you have something like one successful pin in particular, whether it was yours or one of your students, that like stands out of like just how powerful the Pinterest platform can be?
Yeah. So I have had a lot of students now, so I really like to showcase some of their work when I can. So I'm actually really amazed by this one student, and he's a guy.
Okay.
I think he bought.
I love that more guys are getting on the platform and like understanding Pinterest. It's fun.
I love it, and like he's so good. So he just started back in March. I want to say that's when he bought my program, and he has now to date, and I just checked yesterday, he has 563,000 monthly viewers.
Oh, that's awesome. 500,000.
Yeah, in April, May, June, in like 4.5 months. So, and he's getting 10,000 outbound clicks now. So he's getting really excited because he's using affiliate links on this blog that he is linking to, and he's earning some money, but it's with Amazon affiliate. So he's not earning as much as he would like to be, but he's excited because he's starting to get about 10,000 monthly or 10,000 sessions to his blog, which means he can apply for the blog ad network of his choice. Now, like he wants to apply to something called Journey by Mediavine now. And this is, I was referring to
Mediavine.
Yeah, this is one of the ways I was referring to in the beginning where you can make money on Pinterest by using display ad revenue. So he's actually applying to them very shortly once his traffic is consistently at that 10,000. And he will be able to make really good money just from people visiting his blog and seeing those ads.
And what's great is you can also get, unless he's in the Amazon niche specifically, he can also, once you start getting your foot in the door, apply to better affiliate programs and get approved for better affiliate programs after you have a proof of concept, which he is doing by gaining this momentum on his profile.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He has, I think, like 3 or 4 top ranking blog posts, which mean ranking is just basically if you go on Pinterest and you know type in what you're looking for, the pins at the very top are what would be
Mhm.
called ranking pins. The first couple, he has a couple of those which are driving like a majority of the traffic, and luckily they are evergreen content ideas, which hopefully they should be there for a really long time to come so he can maintain that traffic.
Mhm.
But I'm just really proud of him. And it's
That is, that's
interesting
so
because it's a
exciting. Yeah,
guy,
yeah, yeah.
and he's just sharing like bookshelf decor ideas and
Mhm.
fall Amazon decor. Like I just love it. And I think like anybody can really succeed in the space if they put their mind to it.
And that's what I love too. It's like you don't have to be anything extraordinary and have all these technical skills. I remember I worked with one woman she was like, I'm 65, I have no tech skills whatsoever. And she went on to make like $5,000 in her first month and a half, like
Mm-hmm.
choosing to sell her own products over affiliate products. But I was like, you don't have to be like this tech extraordinaire to understand Pinterest and do well at Pinterest. You just have to like
No.
buy products and understand how to market those products using search engines and images and storytelling imagery. And it's like not that difficult. Like, I'm not going to say it's a super simple snap your
Yeah.
fingers and you have money, no way, but it's a simple process to learn, I should
Yeah,
say.
and he's like, and so he started from ground zero. Like he
Mhm.
came to me at one point and was like, "I'm just learning. I just want to make money online. Like I know I want to do a blog, but I don't know how to do this. Like what, I see you promoting Pinterest and driving traffic to it. I want to learn from you." And
Mhm.
so he started from nothing, and like I said, he's not making like a ton of money, but it's really that traffic he's getting, and now that he can start applying to these ad networks that pay really really well for people just visiting his site is like the
Mhm.
really exciting part.
Yeah. So, when you are planning your own content for Pinterest, how do you balance out what we call evergreen content, which is content that's going to perform well all year, versus like seasonal or trending content, maybe something, seasonal related like winter outfits, summer outfits, and things like that? How do you balance out what you're going to do as trends and what you are going to do for more sustainable evergreen content?
Yeah. So I find myself struggling with this. This is
Mhm.
one of my struggles as a creator because in my heart, I always want to create seasonal content because I feel like things are always moving so quickly. Like, oh my gosh, I want to share
Right.
summer ideas. Like, then I want to share fall. Like we keep moving so quickly all throughout the year. And it's like, I know the real money makers over time are that evergreen content. So, um, I'm gonna try to take my own advice here, but I think the best idea in order to balance this is to alternate between posts that you're making. So it depends on how much you publish, but for me, I think I publish maybe 1 or 2 new blog posts a month. So something that I would recommend doing is one blog post, create seasonal content. The next blog post, see if you can create that evergreen content. That way
Mhm.
you're like really managing and balancing, because the more I think you keep creating the seasonal content, the more you kind of will burn yourself out because it's only going to last for so long,
Right.
until potentially the next year, depending on how well it got indexed by Pinterest and the platform. But I noticed that evergreen content, which if you're not familiar with evergreen content, that's just content that can be searched for every single day of the year. Doesn't matter what season, people are searching for it. Some examples of this could be like kitchen storage organization ideas,
Mhm.
or now I guess that could be a little seasonal depending, because now searches for that do spike around January, but
Yeah,
it's
like
really
New
not.
Year's resolutions and
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
overall, and I mean, some examples of like evergreen content I've created for anyone watching is like organizing my closet. So I did
Mhm.
like a cloffice, like how I turned a bedroom into a dream closet. And I linked all the products that I used and that I bought. And then I have a kitchen behind me, which we did like a DIY kitchen renovation. And I linked all the products I used,
Mhm.
like the paint kit for our cabinets. Um, And that's something that someone's searching for every single day of the year, not just seasonally. So I think it's a really great idea to just alternate between the posts that you're sharing and think, okay, like I shared seasonal this week, next week, I'm going to try to create something a little more evergreen. But I do find evergreen content is a lot harder to create for than seasonal. So I think just try to alternate the best that you can.
Yeah. So why should people be interested in Pinterest in 2024, specifically right now as we start to enter in that Christmas season?
Yes. So right now is the best time to get on the platform because August is when things really, really start to pick up in terms of the busiest time of the year for Pinterest marketing. So I want to say August through December is huge. Between January and July, things can get pretty slow, but these fall searches and spikes are starting to rise right now. So for anybody who is on Pinterest, definitely start posting that now, because my biggest tip is to create content about 4 to 6 weeks before something would start to trend and surge, which you can view that from the Pinterest trends tool. Like we've talked about before, if you go in there, you can see when different things will start to kind of surge and spike. So like right now, I was on the other day and I could see a lot of fall stuff slowly, like from the flat line, it slowly starts to pick up. And I'm like, okay, so if I post this now, by the time it's September, the searches will be like up here.
Right.
So
and
it
you
should
want
be
to post,
plenty of time.
Serena mentioned posting, 4 to 6 weeks out. That is because the Pinterest search algorithm, you are giving it some time to rank your content and understand what your content's about, so that when the searches do happen in August or September, your content is already like ready to go. It's already categorized and all that. So that's why Serena's saying, you want to start creating your content a little bit in advance, and you want to start creating the content for fall now and Christmas gift ideas now and things like that, because then you're ranking for it by the time the season comes. You're ready to go, and add some learning curve in there. So if you started today on Pinterest and you spent some time learning it, and then by the time another month rolls around, you start actually making all your pins and making all your content and posting all your affiliate links, then by the time that Q4 comes in, like, you are ready to rumble. And how you can learn about Pinterest, Serena has a program that I'll let her talk about. It's really, really amazing, and she's had some great success stories. And so just share a little bit about your program and what people can learn, and all the fun stuff in there.
Yeah, so I actually have a couple different options. So I have what's called my Pinterest cheat sheet and starter kit, which is a super affordable way for people who are interested in learning about Pinterest, or maybe you have no idea where to begin. It's a great beginner's guide in order to set up your account, make sure you're doing all of the SEO stuff like we were sharing about earlier. I have everything listed in checklist form. It's pretty detailed. I have, a couple examples of converting pins. It's really, really a compact, sweet little place to learn everything. It comes with templates that you can kind of use that I pre-made, that they're the ones that I use every single day. And then I have like a content planner where you can kind of create like keyword banks. So you don't always have to do keyword research. You can kind of write those keywords down all the time, so you have like a general idea of what to create content about. But that's a very what is it called? Shortened version of what's actually inside my signature program, which is called the Profitable Pin Formula. And this is really all about how to use Pinterest in order to actually drive traffic to the place that you want your audience to go to, wherever that may be. It's going to show you how to get people there and how to actually get them to convert into a sale as well. So it's not only going to show you how to use Pinterest, how to do all that SEO stuff, how to do keyword research, how to create pins, and what a good pin looks like, but the strategies and how to get people there and get them to buy. And I feel like that's what a lot of different programs out there sometimes lack. They kind of just show you how to use Pinterest and what to do, but nobody gives you like an actual strategy. And I know in there something like that's really good is I even show you how to create multiple pins constantly for one piece of content so that you can actually create less and like earn more. The more pins you create to one single piece of content, the more traffic you get to that page and the more sales that you can potentially make. So, and it's all, what I love about it too is there's a lot of courses. There's nothing like that I hate more than when I buy a course and the videos are just like PowerPoints and slides. Majority of what I share is actual like tutorials of me sharing like what I'm doing.
Like walking you through your screen.
Yes, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why this works. I'm showing you different stats of the pin, maybe an example of one pin to the same blog post versus another pin to the exact same blog post, and the differences of like why this one worked and why this one didn't work. And it's just really, really in depth. And honestly, I was somebody who I spent years learning Pinterest on my own. And at the time, like I didn't have much money to invest in programs or courses, like anything like $99. I'm like, no, like that's how I was. And so I was somebody who never really bought a course. This is all from like strategies I've just learned on my own. Don't get me wrong. I read a lot of free blog posts and the problem is trying to figure out how to put everything together. You can get all the free information in the world, but you have to somehow piece that together and figure that out. And I feel like that's the hardest part. Now, the course I have to say is like definitely geared more towards the affiliate side of things. So I do also share how to, do affiliate marketing on Pinterest the right way, how to not get your account suspended. I feel like that's a big problem people have in this space. Sure. I do share about digital products as well and how to drive traffic to your digital products. There's modules on that, but it is heavily affiliate marketing based as well. And I do show you as well how to create those like landing pages. So, a freebie opt-in for a digital product or a blog post promoting your digital product, a blog post with affiliate links. So it does go back and forth, but I'd say like definitely not based towards service providers, local businesses. And if you have an Etsy store, I think it would be a really great idea for you too, because you can like categorize Etsy by different lists too, which kind of reminds me of like Amazon storefronts and idea lists. But yeah, I like people to know that and before like heading into that.
Well, I am going to link Serena's profitable pin formula down in the description box below. And if you purchase her program, I'll also give you 15 Pinterest pin templates that I've designed that I have found have high click-through rates. And it'll get you started on those branded templates that we talk about are so important when you're creating your Pinterest pins and having the same color schemes and the same text and having good imagery and making sure everything looks cohesive. So it'll get you a good start. Along with learning all the step-by-step guided tutorials that Serena's created inside her program, you will get onto such a great start with your Pinterest journey. And it is just such a great program. And Serena's such a great person to have in your corner when learning Pinterest. And if there's any last-minute things you want to say before we hop off the video, please feel free to do so. And I just also want to thank you so much for joining us today and answering all our burning Pinterest questions today.
Yeah, no, I want to get this message out there that if you are feeling stuck and you're on social media and you're trying to do everything and you're not seeing the engagement you want, or maybe you're getting like 20 likes and you're like, my content deserves more likes than this. And, you're just feeling exhausted. Like there is a way out. There is a place where people want what you have to sell, regardless of what that is, where people are actually looking for it. And that's Pinterest. And I just think, you'll feel so much more fulfilled that way when you use that versus, I went from feeling like completely defeated and unfulfilled to like feeling like people love what I have now. And it's made just life so much better and easier. And I just want people to know that you can get out of that rut and feeling
and
defeated.
You don't have to show your face for all the people that are don't feel comfortable speaking on camera and still want to make money. I love that Pinterest is faceless. You don't have to put anything out there of your face or speaking, and
Nope.
I think that's
Nope.
appealing to a lot of people too.
Yes. Yeah. And you can just create pretty graphics. It's really
Yeah.
creative design wise. And, you just, it's just not as much of a like a hustle bustle type of grind. And
Mhm.
it's just so, I feel like just like a huge weight gets lifted off your shoulders when you can learn how to use it and learn how to bring passive sales into your business for years to come.
Well, thank you so much, Serena. I can't wait to see you continue to thrive on Pinterest and teach more people how to thrive as well. All right, guys, that was Serena. What a great talk. That had me so pumped. I hope you got a lot out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe so that I can support my family while providing you more free content like this. Woo! I'm just so excited. That makes me so excited. I love this stuff.